T-Rock 100! Surprise! You knew it was coming! Welcome everyone to Pokemon FireRed and Pokemon LeafGreen, the re-releases for that of the Nintendo Switch. And let me tell you, I have been greatly looking forward to playing this. It's in the world in which you are about to enter, you will embark on a grand adventure with you as the hero. Speak to people and check things wherever you go, be it in town, roads, or caves. Gather information and hints from every source. New paths are open to you by helping people in need, overcoming challenges and solving mysteries. At times, you will be challenged by others and attacked by wild creatures. Be brave and keep pushing on. Through your adventure, we will be hoping that you will interact with all sorts of people and achieve personal growth. That is our biggest objective. Hello there! Glad to meet you. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Oak. People affectionately refer to me as the Pokemon Professor. This world is inhabited far and wide by creatures who are called Pokemon. For some people, Pokemon are pets. Others use them for battling. As for myself, I study Pokemon as a profession. But first, tell me a little bit about yourself. So, you're going to be going as the boy. And my name is going to be D-Rock. That's me. This is my grandson. He's been your rival since you both were babies. What was his name now? God. Okay, either I or not have played this game in a long time, but that is not his name. So for this case, I am going to name him Blue. Going by his manga name. That's right, I remember now. His name is Blue. D-Rock. Your very own Pokemon legend is about to unfold. I see what they did there. A world of dreams and adventures with Pokemon awaits. Let's go! So everyone, welcome to Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. So in this case, it would be Pokemon LeafGreen. I will indeed be covering all the other things that we'll be seeing later on down the road. And of course talk about things that's from in both games, but we'll see. Right, all boys leave home someday. It's on TV. Oh, hey, Professor, good, next door, I was looking for you. I need to change the text speed on that one. And let's make this game a little bit more important. Looking at TV. 4 boys are walking on railroad tracks. I better go too. Huh. Blue's house. Hello! Hi, T-Rock. My brother Blue is at Grandpa's lab. Alright. Shades of your journey await. Is that right? Oh, look! Trainer tips. First start to open the menu. Sounds useful, aren't they? Alright. We have to say, big guy, technology is incredible. You can now store and receive items of Pokemon as data via PC. You want to go in there quite yet. Let's see. Hey, wait! Don't go out! It's unsafe. Well, Pokemon live in tall grass. You need your own Pokemon for your protection. I know. Here, come with me. Gramps, I'm fed up with waiting. Blue? Let me think. Oh, that's right. I told you to come. Just wait. Here, T-Rock. There are 3 Pokemon here. Ha-ha! The Pokemon are held inside these Pokeballs. When I was young, I was a serious Pokemon trainer. But now in my old age, I have only these 3 left. You can have one. Go and choose. Hey, Gramps, not fair. What about me? Be patient, Blue. You can have one too. Alright. So, what we have here are separate choices for us and to go with. So, let us begin by talking about the classic starters right now. But why ain't doing the old-fashioned like I've been doing it? So, we have the 3 starters to choose from. Time to start things off with the grass starter. Bulbasaur! A grass and a poison type that specializes in special attack and special defense and upon its final evolution of Venusaur. This thing is great. It is the easiest one to raise. It's going to remain as a grass poison type along the way. So, typically when it comes to these particular Pokemon of grass types, they're usually those that are hindering your opponents with multiple status inflictions. And of course, with other head types that are later on down the road, because of being a part poison type, it'll get the same type of attack bonus and with said grass and poison types. So, the one big thing that I want to quickly point out is that unfortunately, Bulbasaur does come with the most weaknesses out of the other starters, which is kind of sad when you think about it. But that does not mean that it's useless. If you can get past all the weaknesses, Venusaur will serve you well, and by the time it gets into being an Ivysaur, it starts to learn some pretty dang good grass type moves and even some really good poison types. So I guess, if you really want one, make sure that you know exactly which one you're going with, and I want to quickly point out that this is the 3rd generation, and nothing from beyond this has been implemented yet. So that would mean that the physical special split has not happened, hidden abilities have not appeared yet, and so on. All around, the Bulbasaur line is great. Great special offensive uses and good special walls. You could do worse with these guys. Charmander is the toughest one to raise. It gains a fire and flying subtype upon its final evolution of Charizard. And, of course, being a part flying type, it means that it'll gain more resistances and more weaknesses, unfortunately. It's the popular choice, specializing in special attack and speed upon its final evolution. Charmander does have one bit of a tactical advantage early game because it does learn Metal Claw at a pretty decently nice level. The only real big thing to really watch out for is that it gains more weaknesses than as a Charizard, and even gains a quad weakness to that of Rock, and takes normal damage from Ice. Even though the Ice type moves are a little bit scarce in this particular generation, it's still something to kind of keep an eye out on. So while everyone loves Charmander for obvious reasons, you could do worse with this. Just be mindful that it gains more weaknesses, and its defense stat is not exactly going to be winning any 5-star matches. Squirtle! My voice is cracking right there. I'm practically pubescent again. Yay! But anyway, Squirtle! Remains a pure water type throughout the entirety of his life cycle, specializing in defense and special defense upon his final evolution of Blastoise. I was kind of saving it until now, but their abilities are pretty much the exact same, except it just raises their particular type by a little bit once their HP reaches it down to a third. And since, once again, this is the third generation, some of his buffing his stats and its buffing moves have not been introduced yet. Kind of picking ourselves up, though. Meaning normal and water type are moves that's going to learn throughout his life cycle, but that does not mean that it's useless everywhere else, especially when you start looking at some moves that it can learn through TMs. Squirtle is a popular choice for when you want to go for a solo run. And since, of course, I won't be doing that in this particular game, it's still something to take into consideration. Takes a lot of hits and can even dish them right back. And of course, well, because it's a turtle, you're not going to be seeing a lot of good movements with this Pokemon later on in its life, especially since that is pretty much the slowest out of the other starters. But what it makes up for that is, of course, its defense and special defense, and has a good diversity of moves to go for. But all around, it's a good choice. And I know that I used it a lot in the past. I still love this particular starter even to this day. Alright! So, we have some pretty good choices to go for. And to be honest, I can kind of go with either one. But after kind of thinking about it just a little bit more, yeah, no. As much as I hate it in the fire starter, I haven't given him much of a chance throughout the past, so in honoring of something like that, I am going to be going for with Charmander. And I think I will go ahead and nickname him by the looks of it, because it is a male, Inferno. Wait. Okay, this is actually kind of embarrassing. I want to make sure that I'm actually spelling that right, so give me just 1 second here. Okay, so I was right. Because for some reason, I thought that there would be another I in there somewhere, but... Right. And of course, being a classic rival, they had to pick him the one that is the type advantage over us. So, let's just get him right to it. If a wild Pokemon appears, your Pokemon can battle it. With that on your side, you should be able to reach the next town. Wait, D-Rock, let's check out our Pokemon. Come on, I'll take you on. Our first rival battle with Blue. Our first... I'm repeating myself with that one. Oh, for Pete's sake, so pushy as always. D-Rock, you never had a Pokemon battle before, have you? Pokemon battles are when trainers are pitting their Pokemon against each other. The trainer that makes the other trainer Pokemon faint by lowering their HP to 0 wins. But rather than talking about it, you'll learn more from experience. Try battling and seeing him for yourself. So, if you have chosen Charmander, his first Pokemon, and I guess only Pokemon, will be Squirtle, level 5, pure water type, Torn for the ability, with Tackle and Tail Whip. If you have chosen Squirtle, you would have chosen Bulbasaur, level 5, Grass Poison type with Overgrowth for the ability, with Tackle and Growl. And if you haven't chosen Bulbasaur, his Pokemon would have been Charmander, level 5, pure Fire type, Blaze for the ability, with Scratch and Growl. Wow, he is the grand central station of being a bad trainer from the start. What? Unbelievable. I picked the wrong Pokemon. Excellent. If you win, you earn prize money, and your Pokemon will grow. Battle other trainers and make your Pokemon strong. Okay, I'll make my Pokemon battle to toughen it up. D-Rock, Gramps, smell you later. Alright. A couple of aides out here. Let's go in here real quick. Oh, good. You and your Pokemon are looking great. Take care now. You ever need to get some quick healing? You can always just come right on home. We'll come here real quick. T-Rock, I heard you had a battle with Blue. Wish I'd seen that. Do you have a different text for you from when we get through here? Welcome to Route 1! So, we have a couple of Pokemon that we can find on here, but I'm actually going to hold off on that for a little bit. Mainly because in that we have no ways of catching any of these Pokemon. But it'll be something that we'll talk about a little bit later on down the road. Alright, we want to talk to this guy real quick. Look at the Pokemon marked. Gives us a sample of a free potion. It's our second free potion. The first one we got was from the PC. Can never tell when that could come in handy. Unfortunately, we are moving at the speed of molasses at the moment. See those legends along the road? It's a bit scary, but you can jump from them. You can get back to Pallet Town quicker that way. And unfortunately, we can't jump upwards because the game developers thought about this. There it goes. And now we're at level 7 with the move Ember. Was there anyone over here? Okay, no, there wasn't. Alright, here we go. Ah! Every single Pokemon we've encountered so far are Rattatas. Why? You activated my ability. Alright. Alright. As I've always been saying in past Pokemon games, whenever you come across into a new location, you definitely want to visit the Pokemon Center ASAP. See, they don't charge any money. How the heck do they manage to make a living out of this? Alright. Actually, let me check something real quick. Okay. Put your boxes. Alright. Just have to check on that real quick. Sure. Caterpie has no poison, but Weedle does. Watch what your Pokemon aren't stabbed by Weedle's poison sting. Okay. Bit of a nice life lesson. Come in here to the mart, though. Hey, you came from Pallet Town? Who's asking? You know Professor Oak, right? His order came in. Can I get you to take it to him? We don't trust someone with a random package that could probably just sell it on eBay for at least 150 bucks. Alright. Gonna look around town a little bit. Just trying to memorize all the notes. Okay, be sure to read what's on the blackboard carefully. So this basically talks about our status problems. Sleep speaks to ourselves. Poison and drains our HP by I think an 1/8 after every turn. Badly poisoned actually makes it worse later on. Actually no, it's 1/16 at the end of every turn, but it only just gets worse later on. Paralysis cuts our speed in half, but potentially has a 50-50 shot of making us not be able to attack. Burn is similar to that of poison, except it lowers our attack stat. Freeze makes us not do anything between 1 hit to 5 turns. And exit pretty much tells us, hey, get out of my classroom. Okay, goodbye. This Pokeball's at your waist. You have Pokemon, don't you? It's great that you can carry and use my Pokemon anytime, anywhere. Your mileage may vary on that one. So there's also an NPC from over there, but we can't get to that person yet. So we'll just cheat our way, hit it back, just like that NPC suggested. Managed to make it there, no problem. Hello? Oh, D-Rock, how's my own Pokemon? Well, it seems to be growing more attached to you. You must be talented as a Pokemon trainer. What's that? You have something for me? Ah, it's the custom Pokeball. I had it on order. Thank you. Gramps! Almost forgot. What did you call me for? Oh, right. I have a request for you two. On the desk there is my invention, the Pokédex. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. D-Rock and Blue, take these with you. Gotta have our license somewhere, just like in the anime. You can't get detailed data on Pokemon you've just seen them. You must catch them to obtain completed data. So, here are some tools for catching wild Pokemon. When a wild Pokemon appears, it's fair game. Just throw a Pokeball at it and try to catch it. This won't always work, however. A healthy Pokemon can escape me. You have to be lucky. To make a complete guide on all the Pokemon in the world, that was my dream. But I'm too old. I can't get the job done. So, I want you two to fulfill my dream for me. Get moving, you two. This is a great undertaking in Pokemon history. Alright, Gramps, leave it all to me. D-Rock, I hate to say it, but you won't be necessary for this. I know. I'll borrow a town map from my sis. I'll try not to lend you one, D-Rock. Don't bother coming around to my place after this. Yep, about that. Grandpa asked you to run an errand? Gee, that's lazy of him. Here, this will help you. You get the town map! So now that we've gotten ourselves the town map. Welcome to the Kanto region. We have a lot of areas to explore. So our first destination is going to be coming up right around here. Maybe we'll make a quick stop from over here. But that won't be until later on. Actually, I'm thinking about it. Alright. Wow! Right off the bat! And finally, we had our other encounter that we'll be finding out here. So, now they've finally gotten the chance to catch some Pokemon. I think it's high time that we start talking about these guys, shall we? So I guess what I'll do here for this run, I'll go ahead and just take care of some wild encounters along the way. So, who knows? Maybe I'll catch a couple of Pokemon along the way. Starting things off is Pidgey, a classic in her normal flying type. Not much really needs to be said about that. So, it might not be a bad idea for you to catch a flying type Pokemon this early in the game. It knows Gust. It knows some pretty good normal type moves later on in its life. And if you ever are looking for any chance to get some pretty decent normal type along the way, you could do worse with this one. When it evolves into Pidgeotto at level 18, it starts to know some pretty decent normal and flying type moves. The only real big thing to really kind of be careful with is that, unfortunately, some of its better moves don't exist in this game. But if you really are determined, it can eventually learn Aerial Ace and eventually know Wing Attack. It's that good. Upon its final evolution of Pidgeot at level 36, this thing starts to become a pretty nice balance and out in normal flying type. Plus, it's fast. It can take a lot of decent hits. Unfortunately, like I said, it's kind of outclassed. And as much as it pains me to have to admit it, this is one of the games that introduced us a mechanic and that they have not fixed up or well later on. So, as much as I like the Pidgey line, I consider this to not exactly to be at its fullest later on. So, it's outclassed, but not bad for early game. And the other Pokemon that you're going to be finding out here is Rattata. I cross the for right here. Rattata. Your generic normal type. But if you really want one, I want to quickly point out that Guts is a fantastic ability. This makes it so that its attack stat will go up for when it is suffering from status problems. This is not a bad choice to go for. It eventually learns Super Fang and Hyper Fang later on in its life. Quick Attack is great. You'll be seeing a lot of same type of attack bonuses coming from this thing later on. Plus, Bite and Crunch are also some very nice moves for it to learn. When it evolves later on into Eradicate at level 20, which is a little bit late for it, it actually becomes pretty decent. Unfortunately, some of its better moves in that it sees later on has not been introduced quite yet. So if you want anything that's going to be good for long play, this one's going to be outclassed. But that Guts ability that it has might actually make it a little bit more useful in battle. So as it stands, it's alright as it is. But sadly, it gets outclassed later on throughout the game. Alright. So now that we've finally gotten that taken care of and out of the way, I could show off a little bit more, but I'm not gonna do that. Because I'm actually getting closer to being out of time. You know what? I'll do this. If I make a couple more Pokeballs. Shop Center will be giving you more items that they go for later on. So we'll be able to learn more about this as time goes on. Alright. Taking those Pokemon too. What, you're a Pokemaniac? Or you're like me? Coming up with nicknames is fun, but it's not so easy to do. Some names are nice, but simple names are easier to remember. Too true. It's a Pokemon we haven't seen yet. Step inside real quick. Let's kind of go upstairs up here real quick. Hello, my name is Tila. This must be your first time up here. I'll show you how the wireless communication system works. First, I need you to show you to this floor on the Pokemon Center. Right this way, please. On the top floor, there are 2 rooms. First, the room you can get is the Union Room. You may link up with trainers around you and also have entered in the Union Room. With them, you may do things like chat, battle, and trade. Second, the room on the right is the Direct Corner. You may trade or battle Pokemon with your friends in this room. If the wireless adapter isn't connected, you may still link up using the GPA Game Link cable. If that's the case, you must go to the Direct Corner. Hope you enjoy the wireless communication system. So unfortunately for us doing this, we'll have to save. But luckily, since in this game it's pretty easy to adapt, we should be able to do this. Watch out for this. Offer to a trade. The trading board. Why'd you kind of let that little jingle in the background? Nah. We'll deal with that later. Alright! So now that we've finally gotten that taken care of, I think it's about time for us to go ahead and end things off right around here. So next time, instead of going north, we're gonna head to the west and see what we can find out there, right? See you guys then!